So I'm really pleased to be part of this production because Efuru is near and dear to me. She's a member of my company, Something Positive Incorporated, and she has written stuff for us, she has performed with us, and she is truly embedded in our community, but also the larger community of Brooklyn and Brooklyn's performing arts. Yes, so a round of applause for Efuru, please, for bringing us here together tonight. Yes, indeed. And before we begin, we just want to take a moment, just one moment, because as people of melanated skin, as black people, as Africans, as people of color, as black and brown people, as people, period, we need to acknowledge the sacrifices of those that have gone before. And when I say those that have gone before, I don't mean necessarily our mothers and fathers yet. I mean the people that came before the people that came here that brought us here. Before the colonizer, before any of that happened, there were people here in this part of Brooklyn that were part of the Lenape and the Canarsie peoples of these here United States that were stewards of this land long before we inherited, long before we could step foot on this turtle island. And so we want to take one moment just to acknowledge the fact that my friend Kenya in Brazil always says to me, Michael, everything comes from something. And so we were to acknowledge this something, this ancestral energy that came long before us, that stewarded this land so that we could inherit it, that we could walk down Flatbush and Nostrand and Rogers and all those places. So just take one moment of silence for those people. Thank you. You are a wonderful audience. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. That was profound. And so we are going to kick it off with our wonderful sister Efuru. Now, she says to me, oh my God, I didn't write anything about me because, you know me and all of that. Yes, I do know her. And what I do know of Efuru is that she is one of the more conscious sisters that I know. She throws her hand to the plow when called upon and never asks for anything in return. And so this brainchild of hers, I know is just part of a larger project. And I am so pleased to call her my sister. I'm so pleased to call her part of my company, Something Positive. I can't help it, huh? Yeah. And so our wonderful sister Efuru is going to open this evening. I really want to say this, that women in our community oftentimes are overlooked. They are disparaged. They are despised. They are totally forgotten. But I want to tell you that me, Michael Manswell, that's why I'm, by the way, Michael Manswell, I think that women are the best thing that God created. You are loving, you are kind, even when we men are just disgusting. So thank you very much, and thank you, Efuru. Everybody, a round of applause, salutation for her.
Thank you, Michael. Greetings, everyone. I cried last night. Not because I was sad, but because I was missing. A feeling swept over me like a mighty wave rushing to the shore and crashing into my emotions core. I had given up so much of myself, and I realized I was left empty, like a shell on the seashore, void of its occupant, and I cried. I cried for the young girl who got sent away because she dared to say he raped me. I cried for the young woman she was supposed to become, filled with anger and resentment for almost everyone. I cried for the opportunities that passed me by while living in fear because of my past nightmare. I cried for that monster who climbed upon my chest and for my sister who refused to believe my distress. I cried for the stain put on my purity and for my tranquility he stole to satisfy the lost in his distorted soul. I even cried for his daughter who kept running away because unlike me, she was not strong enough to say no. Was not a word that he heard when he had you trapped beneath him like a caged bird. Sometimes I wish I could go back and fix the broken parts. Like pieces of the puzzle, they all make up my shattered heart. Living in a world where a monster has an angelic face, I'm trying so hard to find myself a place, somewhere safe. Oh, the emptiness I felt. The disappointment and the disparity were etched so deep they were enough to distort my clarity. Finally, I cried the hardest because looking back, I can still see glimpses of whom I used to be, now swallowed up into someone else's version of my reality. Finally, I dried my tears, took a deep breath and decided no more. I needed to retrieve that which I lost along the way, that which I surrendered for the sake of having a place, only to realize that if it was meant to be my place, I would not have had to give up so much to be there. There was so little resemblance of myself, locked behind those walls of doubt and fear. Truth is, I wasn't displaced. I was erased. So, I sifted through the rubble, determined to reclaim what was mine, my resilience, my courage, myself, everything that I had lost over time.
So thank you to Earl, Noel, and Jackie, Ravet over there, and Kijana Lewis as accompaniment to Ifuru's very moving opening. I mean, I'm kind of breathless. So thank you, Ifuru, for bringing us to Earth and bringing us to that reality. As I'm going through this, I'm having kind of cathartic moments. And in 1998, was it, Gay that Dewad Phillip mounted something called Caribbean Theatre Week. And we, Gillivet and our deceased founder, Cheryl Byron, were vice presidents of that. And it feels as if that wave is coming again. There was a time when we had poetry evenings. There was a time when we had Caribbean theatre and drama, and maybe, let's see, this might be the beginning of something. So thank you, Ifuru, one more time for being part of the genesis of that. Round of applause, please. Now, this person, I don't know whether I should use your real name or should use your stage name. Should I use your real name? Huh? Okay, good. The government name. Okay. The government name is Craig Kirkland, aka Amaziah the Great. internationally renowned nominated poet, author of the book Don't Cry, also award-winning filmmaker, performer, artist from Spanish Town, Jamaica, who now resides in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, USA, Amaziah the Great. And finally, very silent.
Blessings and respect, all you citizens of the universe, Embers poetry. Before we go, Kim Morrison's pleasure being here, Brooklyn, New York. As me and Michael talk about the woman, you're goddess of the earth. So maximum respect for all you wonderful, phenomenal females who turn out here tonight. This one I'm gonna drop real quick, it's called The Bitterness. Like a toddler, crying for mom's breast milk, I saw tears race on her bony face. She was pensive and motionless, like she was lost in space. She then broke the silence, screaming out, I'm such a big disgrace. I began to check and wonder what's wrong, and she yelled, get the hell out of my space. All you men are just the same. You cheat lies who will take love for a game. I hate men forever. I should have killed Trevor yet, but I put it in his brain. People, whoa, I take this too far. Now we joke her insane. She said, Craig, you're not gonna understand me. You can't feel my pain. I was brave when I was 9. It really shattered my mind. A decade after I tried to move on to get myself back in line. I thought Tom was the best thing until he slept with my sister. So I had sex with his best friend and what's up in the living picture. All my life I've been hurt, need to start attending church, searching for comfort, but life grew worse. Few months after, she was impregnated by the comforting pastor, afraid to do an abortion or else her life would be a disaster. I tried to convince her, telling her she's still precious and worth more than diamonds and gold. She said she still hates men. Her heart is no cold. I offered her a hug. She squeezed me tightly, saying thank you, Mr. Kirkland, for attempting to make me feel lively. But how will I live with the fact of knowing that I'm infected with HIV, the bitterness, sad reality, which is not the domestic violence, tell it precisely.
We need to have more, so we need to advocate. Efuru, where are you? I can see you. We need to have more, Efuru. Let's have one next week too. So we need to have more because there's a lot to be said in our communities that remains unsaid, and then we kind of get all hot under the collar. Silk Verse is our next performer, writing since she was 9 years old and featured on Oprah's Old magazine. All right. She doesn't call poetry a hobby. It's her natural language, delivered with passion and unapologetic power. Silk Verse.
This piece is called I Still Feel You. This piece is called I Still Feel You. 20 years later and I can still feel you. Your salty sweat from heavy breathing on my neck. Your gigantic hands on my 12-year-old breast. Creeping up and down my skin. 20 years later and I can still feel your pee-pee smelling thing. It reeks with such a stench and that nasty milky thing entrenched all over me. Hold it up. Again. Sorry. 20 years later and I can still feel you. Your salty sweat and heavy breathing on my neck. Your gigantic hands on my 12-year-old breast. Creeping up and down my skin. 20 years later and I can still feel your pee-pee smelling thing. It reeked with such a stench and that nasty milky thing entrenched all over me and stole what was mine because you thought it was free. 20 years later and I can still feel you deep in me. My body and soul. When will you die? I'm 32 fucking years old. 20 years later and I'm still scared to death. Waking up in cold sweats, having bad dreams. 20 years later and I can remember my scream. The one desperately. I tried to get over this grief, this guilt and shame. Am I the one to blame? Was my skirt too short and my legs too thick? Or were you just really sick? What was it? What made you think it was okay to completely disobey and steal what was mine anyway? 20 years later, and I ponder about you every single day. The monster who caged this butterfly in all of her glory and rewrote my entire story. One where I have no butter, one where I have no colors and no wings. I'm just this fat, wormy thing, trapped in a pod of fear and misery. This wasn't supposed to be my history. 20 years later, and I'm still so dirty, alone, scared, and unworthy. I want to be pristine, but I don't know how to get clean. I guess I'm still learning it. I didn't know the stain you put on me would be permanent. Thank you.
Because I've known him for a long time, Negus Adeyemi. There's so much to be said. I mean, he wrote something for me to say, so I guess I'm not saying. But he's one of the people who walks quietly and carries a big stick. You know, one of those people you kind of you underestimate. But when he says what he says, in the way that he says it, is always like, wow. So Negus Adeyemi is an African, Caribbean, American writer, poet, spoken word artist, teaching artist, and author, born in Brooklyn, New York, to Bajan parents, and known as Bajan things. But anyway, he is a dynamic performer who writes to uplift, enlighten, and connect. Negus Adeyemi, I have to tell you, his dad was, one of the, some of you may know him, one of the major proponents of music here in New York, but also in Barbados. So everybody, let's hear it for Negus Adeyemi.
Good evening. All right. On these streets, all I see is menstruation, and the cycle continues. In this concrete jungle, continuously being perceived as suspicious monkeys, constantly having to remind the swine of their present geographic location, reminding them that pigs should be in cages and not us. But still they disregard that, believing that we're lying when we tell them that we're lying, so they leave us there on the pavement, lying with holes in our bodies the same size as the ones of their reports, leaving nothing but unemployed hearts, and it tears my heart to see the amount of tears downpouring from the faces of mothers like rain. It's as if they gained their zebra stripes and eradicated black, so that we can only behold the pale horse, patiently awaiting for the extermination codes and more, listen closely for the clicks as police cop back and release on the festive boys and men like the chickens many of them are, and we feed into it with self-hatred on the rise. They make their job easy, quick to kill the ones that resemble our reflection, but still looking at the police for protection. You see, we are in dire need of a cultural resurrection, because if we correctly saw the correlation between officer and overseer, we would escape and form communities like maroons, quilombos like Gamba Zumba and Zumbi maintained. So get this message instilled into your brain. You see, our blood is not the secret ingredient for making a rose
when we say certain things, but understand that poetry, that dance, that music oftentimes imitates life and says something to us that we could feel, that we can't articulate sometimes, but the dancer could, but the poet could, but the musician could, but the scout could. And so we want to make sure that we remember these people, that we understand these people. This is the beginning of something, people. I know it. I can feel it. I know it. This is the beginning of a new era. Yes! So, I have to call her my friend. But I didn't know she was a poet. That's what I mean. Listen, I have known her forever and ever. But again, I didn't know she was a poet. So that's what I'm saying. We need to become familiar with the people in our communities that do what they do. Sister Dawn, there's nothing here for you. Let me see. What? You're at the top. Hello. Sister Dawn, born in Birmingham, England, excusez-moi, and migrated to the US in 1981, a poet for over 15 years. Her poetry reflects a spiritual and emotional journey with a touch of whimsical and playfulness. Yes, Dawn, here you go. Good evening.
Good evening. This poem is called From Past to Present. My past created the woman I am today, a warrior queen, powerful, spiritual, and unapologetic. 18 years old, coming to New York, a dream I longed for, but my feet carried me into rivers of pain and anguish, feeling like Cinderella lost in a tunnel of abuse and longing to be sent back home to the love of my family. That was so familiar, that I was so familiar with. But I didn't want to give up. I wanted to be loved right here. And then I found him. Or so I thought. The love of my life, 6 foot tall, handsome, with a smile as wide as the universe. He gave me a ring and promises that shone as brightly as the stone I wore on my finger, so shiny and beautiful. Promises made to my ears and my heart that marriage would soon give me the escape I needed from my previous torment. Then would come the happily ever after, the marriage would soon give me the escape I needed from my previous torment. Then would come the happily ever afters, and our desire to hear the patter of tiny feet would fill our hearts with all the joy that now engulfed us. The dream was real. But no babies came from my broken womb filled with emptiness as my twins left my tomb in pieces. I cried, I suffered, watching others push babies in well-made strollers. The doctor said I would heal and would try again. I healed and I thought my man did too. We really could try again. Somehow those were not the words he wanted to hear, because I saw my husband change before me. He became bitter under his now pretentious smile, and I, confused by his changes, kept trying to smile and give much love from every part of my loved by a man who was supposed to cherish me forever, he now wandered out of our home to touch another woman's womb and fill her with babies. I was in torment, lost, angry, and afraid. My mind flickered on who was going to come back to me each night, the man who would see my genuine smile and fall in love with me once again, or abuse me as I begged for his forgiveness, loving him at the detriment of myself over and over and over and over again. I fought for every part of me to be resurrected from the pieces he had left me in. I cried, curled up on my worn-out carpet. I was broken. I needed to escape. But how? The universe had other plans. See, I found faith in Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism. I chanted my way out of the violence and left with my life intact. When he showed up at my door, he saw the warrior that said, "No fucking more." I was no longer afraid, and he knew from my eyes I would fight back like Tina Turner did in her own story, "Nam Yoho Renge Kyo." He left. I healed. I let old stories go, and my wound healed into something beautiful. I made plans. I created my own story. I was no longer the victim of the victor, real and unapologetic. I asked her to send me my children from other mothers, and they came pouring in. You who belonged and needed a place to lay their burdens down, to feel love and care, I had to offer. Helping them to heal from their own scars and showing them how to share their own stories. So the loop of love never ended. What joy it brought to my heart. Now creating new milestones, new stories, because the battles are never over. But they are not bound by violence or fear. They are bound by the joy of looking within as the words that leave my mouth bring forth my destiny of a new day. A new day carried by my heartbeat to new lands as I shift and change like the waves that come crashing towards the sand and the moon that comes out at night to caress me in its glow. I am the spiritual warrior queen, sitting on my throne, crown straight, eyes all aglow, whole and complete. Oh my gosh.
Yes! Oh, I'm perfect. That's what we want to hear. Wasn't that wonderful? Absolutely. Empress Poetry is up next. Bajan, born in Brooklyn. Well, a Bajan-born, Brooklyn-based. Oh Lord, oh, that's going to be confusing. The work moves between the personal and the communal. And that's a very important note to make. Very important, the personal and the communal. So here we have Empress Poetry. Do I have to keep moving every time? This ain't like, come on. Empress!
Good evening, everybody. It is not that cold in here. I'm going to try that one more time. Good evening, everybody. All right. Welcome to Embers and Emotions.
driven by fear and rejection. I shelved the woman she was created to be. She was a battered bird whose wings had been broken, an apple that had fallen too far from the tree. She was angry, bruised, and bitter. Her words fierce like venomous lava, uncute. She fought just to prove she's no quitter. She was repulsed by the words, I love you. See, for some time she, okay, we had a battle going on inside of me. My mind was fields of pure misery, uncertainty, negativity, devastation. Everything I conceived led to destruction. My Midas touch turned nothing to gold. I found myself in a place that was lonely and cold, where darkness was the blanket that covered me. Somewhere in the fog, a voice cried out, rescue me. I was too weak to even care about my destiny. Self-love, empowerment, that was all foreign to me. A wasted, worthless soul is all I've known myself to be. I heard it, I felt it, I consumed it, I received it. No one would ever believe in me. I wanted to be known as a seed planted in barren lands, deep. Somewhere in that mud bath of pity, my soul extracted purity. And after the bloodbath, my spirit was granted liberty. I was divinely baptized in a fire that blazed the way for me to be free. A lineage of kings and queens, their lives and their thread counts of my tapestry. I am an upgrade, a rebirth, a sure heir of royalty. And it all started with me, believing in me. I jumped back into that pool and rescued my destiny as she brought with her my passion. Summoning my inner diva, now I wear my purpose like a tour fashion. I now storm this stage in an inspired pump. Head up, back straight, can't keep my crown on if I slump. What was once my runaway is now just another stage. Inspiration fuels my drive, which was once fostered by rage. I have evolved into the woman God created me to be. My passion is my purpose is my poetry. And it all started with me, believing in me. I am Embers.
I'm not lying, or I could lie. Thank you so much, Empress. That was wonderful. Oh, I wanted to say this. It's interesting. I found this out the other day when I was talking to someone from the Africana Studies Department in the university, and they were saying to me, and this is something we've discussed, that you realize that down south people call their children queen and king and empress and Apollo and all these kind of Greek, European heroic names, and we thought it was a kind of assimilation that we were kind of weaking out. But it really was, they named Prince and Queenie. A lot of people are named Queenie down south. It was the fact that they insisted that the colonizer refer to their children as queen, king, prince. So understand that protest is not it's not that. Sometimes the protest is that insidious, subtle something. I'm going to call my child queen and you're going to call she queen. That's it. And so sometimes it's a bitter pill for them to swallow. So when they sit around the table, they have to call on their servant, and their servant is called Queen Helen. Who you're calling? So, as we close out this first half of our wonderful Embers and Emotions, Emotions. This is the emotions part. I was just told this is the emotions part, so we will get all up in the feelings and all kind of stuff. You know, these young people. We have another outstanding poet. In fact, everybody so far has been outstanding. Don't you agree? Yes, yes, yes. Bernard Coburn was born in Jamaica, now resides in the US. He is a published poet. And to ensure that you know, he has 2 books on sale here. The Honey Bee Chronicles, and it's a hardcover. Hello. Wow, this is cute. Sorbet and sweet potato pudding. I love it! Everybody, Bernard Coburn, please. They are for sale. We're gonna pick them up in the halftime.
It's nice. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go around so the folks who come. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that sounds better. So this Embers and Emotions. This has been a bit emotional at the moment because I'm going to read you a poem called This Emotional Life. And it's about our wife and I, it's about my first heartbreak. She didn't break my heart. But I met this girl and she said, what do you want to do with your life? And I said, I'm going to become a poet. And she said, then where are you feeding the poetry up here? But when I look and see all you beautiful people paid to come here to see us this evening, I just want to say thank you. Emotion running riot. Yeah, don't clap, don't shout, clap. No, I like it, thank you. Okay, so this emotional life, subtitled My First Heartbreak. I remember when I loved you, dressed in the ineptitude of youth. At 18, I was green, leafing through Lawrence Tavern mornings in beautiful delirium. Life was different then, magical. Taking Fridays off to stand at your gate and gate, you had the prettiest legs, shapely, oh, smooth, and I was in love. Spending work days daydreaming and nights knowing that I would be seeing you the next day beneath the boulevard along the tree. I remember the village. Old houses sheltered us. The school, primarily for learning, became our place of tryst. The center, community shared, but ours to lay bare, love's lotions enclosed us protectively. Thick, gone, grown bushes became our ample allies. You broke my heart. It took me 40 years to write you into my life. Truth is, you never left. The start is always rocky, cloaked in ignorance, innocent expectation, and mystery. You wrote the first chapter, foretelling the people we would become, prickly pine prickings of a yesteryear yet to come, united by the thought that we were misunderstood. There was more to you than I knew. Adult already, you were shaped by a motherhood hidden from me by fear. Unbelievably, as young as I was, I would have understood. Conventions learned were starting to matter less. Pitiless in my rejection of deceit, real or imagined, I rebelled against the love you practice in your youthful adulthood. Your friends knew more than I could. Motherhood bound you through shared experiences. A jealous friend told, none too subtle in her delivery. Your girlfriend and baby. I was devastated, learning early to mask hurt. Deception stung like scorpions. battlefield shield. Simplicity is not for the simple people, neither are the king's robes for beggars. I wish to thank you for the foundations you laid bare. The first cut hurt, merciless blade sliced through naivety, fast-tracking me to manhood. Today, I wish to thank you resplendently.
Thank you so much, and just want to say, I just went, the train is in the house, so when I say you're fast, are fast. So I went on an opening man book, sorbet and sweet potato pudding, and I was thinking, but we all adults in here, right? You know what I open on? And I've been thinking that we all need to purchase this book. It was a very interesting poem. Nipple on my tongue. I know. I think we all need to buy this. It conjures up so many images. So the book is for sale. Sorbet and sweet potato puddings here. It's 50, it's hardcover, and he will sign. And the other one is called The Honeybee Chronicles. It's also in hardcover, he will sign. It's important to have signed copies of live poets. It's very, 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 very important. These things become heirlooms when poets become truly famous. So you want to have that. It's 50 for the larger, for the sorbet and sweet potato pudding, and 25 for the Honeybee Chronicles. He takes Zell.
I do.
Yes, he takes Zell. So, whatever do what you gotta do. Yes. And so we come to a junction. So I want you all to join me with this. I'm not a poet, but I'm a performer. So listen to this. I want you to say money. Money! Aye. So listen to this. Money. Everything is money. Oh, money. Everything is money. Oh, I want to tell you a story about a God named Money. Since he come to earth to dwell, mankind catching more and more hell. He dominating everything. I tell you, money is a as usual. Thank you again, thank you again, thank you again. We were just sharing backstage. This is the beginning of something, people. It is the beginning of something. And I just want to encourage you. You know, I'm an old man now. So I can say, the darkest night is before the dawn. The dawn is coming. So here we go. A full. And
I'm back. This piece is called Enough. We had the emotional part, I cried, but that's okay. I'm not crying anymore. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I've heard that shit so many times, I'm not fazed by it anymore. It's just a convenient line that you use to excuse your shame and disgrace, only to save face when you want to walk back through my door. It might make me forgive, but certainly not forget. You see, I've been depressed because of your neglect. Felt invisible to the point where I questioned my purpose, and now you want me to accept I'm sorry, simply because you feel regret. Sorry doesn't make up for the hurt, the disappointment, the loss of respect, and the beginning of me not giving a shit. Sorry doesn't change the fact that you let me down when I really needed you to be around. It doesn't make up for the hurt you've caused when I realized you placed us on pause. Maybe you thought that there was something or someone more deserving of your time and energy. But sorry doesn't fill the void you created in my heart. When you felt the need to venture out and become a part or fill a vacancy you felt more deserving than me, only to discover that you were caught up in a game of snakes and ladders. While you were sliding down, they were moving along, leaving you to crawl back to me with your pathetic, I'm sorry. But how could sorry mend the years of broken promises, broken trust, broken me, broken us? I'll not forget, but I'll try to forgive. Until the next time, you make me remember the last time you said, I'm sorry. A cycle that keeps repeating itself, a never-ending story. You say the words and you seem remorseful and full of empathy, but your actions display that your words are empty, and all you want is to regain that hold you had on me. But sorry doesn't open the doors that you've closed. When you felt the need to oppose, everything we have built has now crumbled to dust and silt. Sorry can't fix us. The wind blew in a storm of dust, and amid all that debris, baby, you lost me. No more fucking sorry.
Dedicated to each and every one of the Your war has been minimized to a purr. Darkness deafens your light. Your dreams have been stolen by the fears that nurtures your plights. Lioness, arise. Rise like the beautiful sun that greets you from the sky. Let your light shine so bright it burns your enemy's eyes. Show your strength in all that you do. Release the weaknesses of your past. Allow the Creator to use you. Use your jewels filled with wisdom, overflowing knowledge from the crown. Show the world why you should never be held down. You are a lioness, now rise. Your dreams and purpose deflect the threats of your demise. Traps have been set. There's false premise of promise, delusions of grandeur, all sealed with Judas' kiss. You've been broken, we all have. You've been lied to, so have I. Dwelling deep inside of us is what we need to survive, dig, discover inner goals. Find what you need in order to free your soul. Let your destiny be your prey. Start elevation every day. You've got to fight for the honor of your pride. Stop licking your wounds and allowing yourselves to be pushed aside. Your cubs are watching, and so is the rest of your year. As a natural born leader, you must devour your fears. Don't become endangered in this jungle we call life. You are all queens. Lioness, arise. Thank you.
Inspirational, to say the least. You know, we are. I had to tell some of my students the other day that we were talking about enslavement, because it's Black History Month, blah, 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 blah. And I was saying to them something that Cheryl said to me, Cheryl Byron Ibayi, who's with the ancestors, who said to me, Michael, remember, no one steals anything that's not valuable. Hello. So understand that intrinsically we are valuable. Finally silent, but okay. Amaziah the Great. Where is he? The Great!
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's quite fascinating to see all the phenomenal females here tonight. And we are always honoring and respecting our women. Big respect to my wife, Miss Lori Kirkland. Also have her book here with me, and I have my book. Yes. This one I'm going to do, it's called You Will Be Okay. Empress Poetry, Kim Morrison. Ladies, you are remarkable. You are strong. You're one of God's greatest gifts. Follow him and you'll never go wrong. Lori, you are smart. You are noble. Pay keen ears to these words I told you. You see, the skies were overcast and then torrential rain for days. Throughout your darkest moments, you experienced pain for days. Cold and bitter, angry and confused, but be cautious with your steps before you make the wrong moves. And if you're feeling a bit empty right now, somewhat unsatisfied, fret not, for God already sent an angel to be your guide. Ladies, you'll be okay? Just know that God is real. After you become sophisticated defense for the strongest you ever feel. You are remarkable, you are sweet, so trample all the hypocrites beneath your feet. Be patient and pray more, you'll be okay. Forget about them who not believe in you, ladies, they got no time to play. You all are fighters, survivors who resist the wind. Ladies, you're loved. If you're goddesses and you all deserve lifetime happiness, you'll be okay. Feel free to look out and check my book out, Don't Cry by Craig Kirkland, Top 10 Flowers by Lori Kirkland, and also check out our short movie on YouTube called The Jamaican Poet Movie. Follow me on Instagram at Precisely Great.
because those are the things that are recognized. And in so doing, what we do is that we take on the mantle of greatness. And it's not a mantle of greatness that is arrogant, but a mantle of greatness that understands that with all great gifts, there is great responsibility. So we want to make sure that we are responsible, great people. Yes? And now we have Sister Dawn. Yes, Sister Dawn. Listen, I did not know this one was a poet. Should we please play the same to Revan? Oh, well, listen, you're not hidden. You are not hidden. You are wonderful. You are great, Sister Dawn. You are Sister Dawn. Aurora.
This one is called My Soul. My soul is covered in the rhythm of the Caribbean, played on pieces of iron and the drums of various beats. Oil can pans bringing up the heat, giving my hips something to talk about, giving my lips something to hum about. Giving my arms something to sway about. Giving my feet something to stomp about. Bam-ba-da, 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 bam-ba-da. Music is a drug for me, you see. And if this is what it means to be in ecstasy, then please, don't take this rhythm away from me. My soul is covered in rhythm from the Caribbean. Now in a place where the sound now comes from a sweet, slow reggae vibe. Played on guitar, keyboards, and a soft tatter of bongo drums. Backed up by a soothing melody of soft, humming voices as I'm caught up in a soft, sweet wine. Nice and easy, slow and tasty, with a stranger that caught my eye. Hanging on to his every move as we sway to the beats of a sweet, sweet melody, locked in hip to hip, creating heat where it needs to be. Music is a drug for me to see. And if this is what it means to be in ecstasy, then please don't take this rhythm away from me. My soul is covered in rhythm from the Caribbean. My mind now gone onto tribal sounds. I hear the beats and sounds of my powerful drums, followed by a rainfall from my shaking rain. I close my eyes and take off onto other planets, traveling back in time where I no longer exist on this earth plane. Moving into deep dark space, becoming one with the stars. Music, woo. My soul collides with the sounds and rhythm of my heartbeat. Music is a drug for me to see, and if this is what it means to be in ecstasy, then please don't take the rhythm away from me. from me. One more time, I said, please don't take this rhythm away from me.
Nipples on my tongue, etc. Just saying. I think it's a hot piece.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Poets have many sides, that's what it said, right? And we're bringing the fire now. Like, really fire. So, are you familiar with a writer called James Baldwin? Yes. Name one book we write.
Another country.
All right, and we'll talk about fire next time. And I was reading one of his essays, Stranger in the Village, in which he described a sojourn in a northern European village where the people had never seen a black person before. So they would come up to him and see if the blackness would come off his skin. Ignorance is universal. But he had a good time with it until a woman came to him and told him that she was collecting money to send to Africa to buy some of his underprivileged and wild cousins in Africa so that they could be civilized and Christianized. And I thought at that moment, the word invaders came into my mind, and I said to myself, we should have killed the first ones. Invaders. And this one, I had to change the title from invaders to preemptive strike. Because if we had struck first, what's happening and what happened to us over 500 years would never have happened. But let's go for it. Every now and again, I'm going to point at you, and you're simply going to say, we should have killed the first ones. Kill the first ones. Okay, here we go. We should have killed the first ones. We didn't. Now they have become death, destroyers of worlds. We should have killed the first ones. Murdered the motherfuckers who first stepped ashore, got ashore. Sunshine, spotlit, targeted heads. Used ancestral lasers to burn them. We should have killed the first ones. Exploded hearts mercilessly. Run them through with assegais. And show them that Kukumaka met Janko nyam them. We should have killed the first one. Torn them limb from limb like fractions. We should have killed the first ones. The ones who stepped ashore with bluster, excommunicated, starving, scurvy-laden, wind-blown savages. We should have, but we didn't. We should have killed the first ones, pushed them over the edge like Jesus swines. Then, no mercenaries coming after, no traders to corrupt us, no crescent outside of Africa's yellow sun to darken our precious shores. We should have sunk those ships, burnt them to the water lines like matchsticks. We should have. Livingston should not have lived. Stanley should remain a tape measure. Livingston should never have lived. I'm serious about that. And Stanley should remain a tape measure. We should have massacred John should have killed the first ones who stepped ashore. We should have struck first, eliminated epidemics before they started. We should have mentally new masochists, those stupid asses, peddlers of death, pushers of trinkets and shining objects. We should have killed the first ones. Yet our ancestors were too kind. I wish they weren't. We, or they, should have killed the first one, slaughtered saints and demons alike, sent them screaming to hell, sentenced them to burn in oblivion. We should have killed the first ones. Think about it. We saw no devils before them, no apes eating, no apple eating Satan to avoid. We erred when we let them breathe. Those profiteering bullies bearing destruction came uninvited. Then our lives were upended forever. With canes, cudgels, whips, chains, we experienced the rise of the village policeman. We should have savaged it too. Lost in a vat of molten tar. We should have killed the first ones. Burnt roads to a crisp. Roasting him over an open fire. Paved roads with his bones. We should have. Yet we didn't. Unfortunately, history cannot be undone. We had no handguns to repel invaders. We had no handguns to repel invaders. No incinerators to disappear devils dragging crosses behind them. We should have given them saltpeter instead of water. Poison selected springs to slake their conquerors' thirst. Slash string-taut throats with hook knives. Heated sharpened spears to pierce bullets of avarice and hatred. We should have. Yet we didn't, and history cannot be rewritten. It has to be done. Our ancestors didn't do it, but we can be careful the next time around. We should have. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, Burning Cobra on Instagram, Facebook, and burningcobra.com.
Oh my gosh.
We're moving along. And we want to say thank you again to Guru. We have a great bar, we had good food, we had good, wonderful conversation. Even more important, we had great talent. We still have great talent coming. And so thank you, Bernard Coburn. Don't forget his book, Sorbet and Sweet Potato Pudding and the Honeybee Chronicles. He has it right over there. He can take Zell and whatever else you have. Now we're going to have Silk Verse. Silk Verse, calling Silk Verse. I'm not seeing her. Where? Oh, okay. Oh, there she is. Silk Verse. There we go. Silk Verse.
Education, there is plenty.
And here comes my friend that you heard in the first half, Negos Adeyemi. Here we go. Negos Adeyemi.
In the society of the artificial and superficial, still remains the authentic. You can remove our original names, our spiritual practices, our drums, try your best to have us all beat. You can even remove our feet like Kunta, but with this hand I am still going to eat. Circumnavigate mine with just one hand, you can't shackle me. You see, my pen is like a master key, creating mastery, and with each poem I master thee. See? You can't shackle me. I throw words effortlessly and precisely, like a perfectly placed photograph, crystallized, captured, copper-weighted kick, and emerald-tipped zooble spheres, piercing heart chakras, making sure each strike is aligned right with magnetic hematite within or without margins, never marginalized or compromised on how I feel, because the intent of these words are to hear. You see, you can't shackle me. I am a laser surgeon when my pen touches his pad. I am a sage with sage, cleansing with each stroke, purifying the uncivilized like the Moors that conquer Rome. You see, my pen is a constant traveler, and it always roams, even when it perceives to be out of ink. It replenishes itself in nanoseconds, so I always have more. See? You can't shackle me. Swimming and deep diving between these lines like a maureen, and when the ink dries, I display memorable monuments erected like Stonehenge, built by Maureen. And I know all of this might be difficult to swallow. You would think that I gave you a pill like Morpheus, and you love it. To your dopamines, it's amorous. To the clan, it is vainglorious, exterminate all false truths and bondage. See? Can't shackle me. See, my pen is a thriller. MJ in Manila, how these words keep boxing you in the face, because I write, leaving indentation with box I plus. I also write out of the box, cutting cryptic calligraphy upon perfectly papyrus, which is why the police is always after us, constantly searching me for contraband, knowing I'm a one-man band, orchestrating symphonies, giving them mentally enslaved epiphanies, engraving their cerebral with the words, you can't shackle me, because I write to set my people free.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that's what I mean. Some people would say the pen is nitrogen. So, you know, those old sayings, etc., etc. Cheryl Byron used to tell us that word is vibration, and vibration can change any situation. So when you vibrate a word, you can begin to change the situation. But you have to first know, not just believe, you first have to know that that is the chain reaction. There was a time when we did our piece, Ancestral Chant, that Cheryl wrote for Dr. Pearl Primers, who was her teacher, and we would sing at the end, "Free South Africa, power to Mandela," and Mandela was imprisoned at that point. But we believe that by starting that vibration, it helped to ensure that Mandela became free. And you have to take ownership of your vibration. You stand in the center of self and take ownership of your vibration. So when Lego said like Morpheus, I was like, Lord, Wow. Because Morpheus is the god of sleep. And oftentimes our people are sleeping because we drank the Kool-Aid. And the last people that drank the Kool-Aid, dead. I was old enough to know that they're dead when they drink the Kool-Aid. In Guyana, 19 wherever. But we're moving towards the end, so we want to give a full room, a huge round of applause again. This evening, we got to come and express ourselves and feel community, because we're now a community, we're now part of a Furu's community. And I hope a Furu that this is going to continue, that this is not just a shot in the dark, that you and your group of poets are going to continue this vibration. So here we go.
Strong daughter, angry daughter, determined daughter, I, Africa. Black daughter, spiritual daughter, queen of the Nile. Black is you, black I am, black is everyone. Mama! Mama! What can I do, Mama, to rise above this oppression? Mama, oh Mama, I've cried. Nights and days I've cried, Mama, to rise above this oppression. Wicked man! You! Wicked man! Here in a new life, new space, new time, I still can't get what's mine. I've seen you whip and lynch our fathers and brothers. I've seen you abuse and rape our mothers and sisters. Now look where we stand, back at crossroads wondering, where do we belong? You're holding on too long. You're holding on too long. Freedom! Freedom! Oh, Mama, I know you hear the cries of your daughters and sons, so you know how long and hard we've been fighting for our freedom. But when you look around, Mama, you can see this. This is a new kind of slavery. Our plantations and our offices are overseers and clocks. No matter how hard we work to be bosses, where we start, this is where we start. In this reality, it's not our bodies, but our minds, they still hold in captivity. No more whips, Mama! No more chains! But we can't stop feeding the masters this day. And whenever we look, we're at the end of the line, always hoping and praying that one day our light will shine. But tell me, Mama, when will our time come? When will we rise above this oppression? We've been struggling for far too long. Isn't it time for us to sing our freedom song? We want freedom for all the years of oppression. We want freedom for this new generation. Oh God, Mama, we want our freedom.
and you walk outside, remember, in this moment, now, starting now, as you walk, connect with the earth, this new earth that is taking shape and form, and that awaits our superpower gene, that melanin, that as long as the sun is shining, we are here, we will be here to continue being creators of creations. Thank you.